When I talk about coaching, I talk about academic coaching, career coaching, transition coaching, and life coaching. Many people have heard of life coaching, and about half the people think it's a bunch of them. I was one of those people until I got a coach. Um, Academic coaching is pretty obvious. It's usually centers around college choice, finding the right college, pursuing the right academic strategy to get into the school of your choice, those kind of things. And so that one's pretty choice. Career coaching is a very common field that many people are familiar with and have used some form of career coaching along the way to find the job that just fits them best, that where they can use their talents and skills, identify what those talents and skills are, and be encouraged through the process of finding the right place for them, finding the right bus and the right seat on the bus. The other thing in career counseling that maybe is new for some folks is the idea of having a coach work with somebody that's new to a position. I particularly love working with new teachers, helping them to find success and thrive in their new school with their new role. And so having principals contact me and say, we want you to work for 2 or 3 months with a new teacher greatly improves the likelihood that that teacher will thrive in your school, that students will thrive under them, and that you will be able to retain that teacher long into the future. The area that I want to talk about today is in transition counseling. And this is particularly in cultural transition. So it's for folks who are moving from one cultural scenario to another, whether they're moving overseas for work or school, whether they're returning to their home country from a life of service or from being a student. In my case, I was a high school student overseas, I returned to the US for college, and transition coaching for me was working through that cultural transition, working through what it was like to be an American who wasn't exactly an American, who didn't have all the same life experiences as the Americans around me. And for others, and in our family's case, when we transitioned from our life of service, our years of service in Indonesia, and returned to the US, and we're looking for ways to use our gifts and talents, transition coaching may have looked like checking in frequently with someone who understood what it was like to be in that transition and could encourage us and counsel us along the way. And so if you're an organization that sends people from country to country in service or in work, then I want to encourage you to invest in transition coaching for your employees, for your people. They need it. You kind of already know they need it. You've probably tried to provide it in some form or another. But I want to encourage you to look at professional transition coaching for families as they return and for their students as they return without their families. I think it's extremely important. I know it's been extremely valuable in my own experience with my son and my wife and myself. And I've seen it work so profoundly well when it's used well. And we want to see families that have had these unique, amazing experiences or are in such unique, important roles to thrive well and not get burnt out or chewed up in the process. So I invite you to contact me about what transition coaching might look like for your organization or for your family. And in the meantime, I encourage you to stay well, be kind, stop scaring the children.